I don't know how this is gonna work. I have to adjust. What are we turning? Oh, there we go. Alright, guys. This light might be in the way. Oh, no, that's good. Alright, that's good. You can see what I'm doing. Perfect. Yeah, we got a bunch of copper and brass here, guys. Stuff that needs to be cleaned. I made a video the other day saying maybe I'll do a live. Nobody suggested it, but I don't know. I think that's what you guys want, right? I mean, let me move this camera a little bit. Perfect. You can see my bald head. We're going to be going through some stuff here. Some copper wire number 2. So this is right here is my number 2 copper bucket. You guys can see I got about half a 30-gallon can. And I still got this stuff I want to go through here, guys. And then this right here is my number 1. You guys can look down in there and see. There's not much, but I have stuff I gotta go through. So, and it's Saturday afternoon. It's kind of crummy weekend. I haven't had much going on. No calls or nothing. It's been a very slow week. I don't know if it's just because of the holiday coming up or what, but it's been really slow this week, guys. I don't know. The hell is all this crap? Get my drill. Gotta find a Phillips head bit. Thought I had one handy. There we go. Yeah, I hate these weekends when it's slow. You know, over the summer, it was more busier over the summer, which it usually is. That's all clean brass. I hate these stupid things. Oh, yeah, these things, guys. These little valves here. When you open them up, this is all brass, but this thing is a piece of plastic. You just twist them, yank it. There's a little piece of plastic stuck on there, but. Alright, so that's trash, and it's more brass. Some of them don't come apart like this. I don't know if this is going to come apart. A little piece of copper. But this, you see, it's a piece of copper, piece of brass, another piece of brass. We'll just cut that off. Alright, more brass. I mean, that's a nice piece of brass too right there. This is what I usually do on the weekends if I'm not busy or, you know, in between picking loads up, guys. Like I said, it's just been really crummy lately. Slow. Not a lot of things going on. More brass. I used to do a lot more of this stuff back in the day. Another one of them stupid things. For like little check valves, float valves. What else you got here? Ah, the threaded crummy faucet. And behind this gooey mess is a screw to get this off. A lot of times you hit them with a hammer, they might break off. Got some brass, some copper down in here. I think I'm just going to cut this off and throw this to the side for now because I don't feel like really doing it. I know, I get lazy. A lot of you guys always yell at me for not cleaning things or throwing stuff to the side to do for later. More brass. I keep going after that one. I can't open that one. There we go. See, more brass. Yay! I kind of like brass a little bit more than copper, only because brass weighs more. So look, Brass weighs a lot more. It weighs up, you know, I just had a couple fittings in a bucket, 5-gallon bucket. And I would clean them up. Just got a screw on it. Wow, what a pain in the ass. Just to take that plastic handle off. Why the hell did that blow apart? Oh, okay, I got it. If you guys have any questions, you can put them in the comment section. It's a nice piece of number 1. We'll pass that as number 1, no solder on it. What do we got here? Another piece of number 1. This has got a piece of brass on it. My finger's doing better for any of you guys that watched my other video. Me and my helper lunchbox were taking out a big heavy boiler out of a basement, and when we got it out the door, it tipped over and ended up crushing my finger. Did a hell of a job on my finger. So now I'm going to cut this piece. This is all number 1 up until this little soldered joint. So I'm going to cut it there, and I'm going to cut it there. Take this joint out. You know, cut it here, take that little joint out, so then I can sell that as number 1 instead of just throwing it all in the bucket. Some things are worth cutting and upgrading. Some things aren't, guys. See, got a little bit of schmill on it, but they'll buy it. A little piece of brass. See, I cut it before where the solder was. This elbow is copper. You can always tell the copper ones. You see it in the light. Focus. See how smooth the finish is? Looks nice and smooth. It doesn't look like it's a casted piece. I don't even have a brass one here. But it would look, if it was a brass elbow, it would be more pitted like this. It would look more rougher. I don't have any elbows. And there's none on that copper. That's all. Usually a lot of the older copper and brass fittings, the fittings are brass. And like the elbows and the T's. Oh, actually, here's one. Here's one. You see it? Focus. See how pitted that is? That's brass. Now, don't ask me if it's yellow brass or if it's red brass, because I've never been able really to tell. Being that I'm colorblind, I really haven't been able to tell, guys. And every time I'm like, oh, it's a piece of red brass, and I'll separate it in a bucket. Every time I go to scrapyard, they're like, oh, that's just normal plumbing brass. Well, I mean, if that's what they're going to do to me every time, then I'm not going to be bothered. Go out of my way to do it. I think these are copper. These little things. When you cut them, they look very brassy. I mean, see when you cut it. I always throw them in for copper. And the last time I brought them in, the guy said, oh, those are brass. And so I've been throwing them in copper for the last 20-something years. So, I mean, if it's one little piece. You know, if they're going to downgrade you for one little piece, like if they say that's copper, it doesn't weigh anything. Or I say it's brass. They're going to downgrade you for brass. Now these pressure relief valves, these things suck. I know you can cut them and pull all the stuff out of them. I throw them in a separate bucket, and when I'm really, really dead in the winter, I'll take my time and go through them. Like these, I just cut the handles off. That piece is plastic. Boom. Brass. I don't really worry about them. Like this thing, that's got some kind of spring or something in it. You can't really see it, guys. I see in the light. I always just throw them in the brass bucket. They pick them out. They pick them out. I don't know what the hell that ugly thing is. I don't know. I don't feel like beating my hands up. Like a lot of these shark bites. Like, that's a new shark bite. If you had the tool, you could probably take them off and maybe, you know, keep a couple if you need to reuse them more. If you need to reuse them or something for, like, your own plumbing needs. But I bet you that's like a $10 shark bite. Right. Number 1 copy. Or number 2 copy. Another little piece of brass from a valve. Gotta remember to hold it up here. I had to change the orientation on my phone. I tried this once and it wasn't working right, so I had to probably even delete it for anybody who notices that I messed it up. It's the first time going live, really. I did one while I was in my truck. Coming back from the truck pull, guys, but I'll tell you what. I just did that to see how it worked. Nice piece of brass valve. Wanted to see how the lives worked. That's got a little screw in it. I'm telling you, get yourself a little screw gun and some bits. They go a long way. And zip these handles off. Now this is a plastic handle. Some of these are aluminum. So if you want to get a little bucket or something and throw all the aluminum handles in. Like this one's a steel one. That's a steel handle, so you can just throw that in your shred. And like this one, I cut the brass off. It's got a little piece of brass on it. Yeah, I could have messed around with the flathead screw. I just didn't want to. But these you could throw in your aluminum. They're not going to see one little piece. When you get a bunch of the stuff to throw out, they're not going to see it. 1 or 2 little pieces, trust me. And if they are that stingy, maybe you should find a different scrapyard. You know, if they're not going to value anything you bring in, nope. You know, you might have to drive a little further to go to somebody who will actually, you know, pay you what the scrap is worth. There's another shark bite on there. So I tell people, shark bite, and then that, we're going to put that in the number 1 bucket. Remember, it's their job to pick it out, not yours. If they say, oh, there's a couple pieces in there, tell them take it out. They're buying it. You know, if they're not gonna quality control what they're buying from you. Ow. Just cut my hand. Nice pair of cut resistant gloves. I buy these at can't think of it. Harbor Freight. They're cut resistant. Look, I just cut into my hand. I nicked it either here or there. Took the glove up, but it didn't cut my hand. Which is good. Really like my little compact Makita. It's easy to one hand. As you're doing stuff like this, you know, you don't have to fight it. Yeah, I'll throw that as number 2. See that? See that fitting is copper, so you don't have to worry about cutting it off. But yeah, I've had this about 2 years. I have another one I bought before this, and this piece broke from years and years of doing it. So I'm using it for this stuff and cutting things I probably shouldn't have. A nice piece of brass. But now we got Black Friday sales coming up, guys. So whether you shop at Lowe's or Home Depot, if you're a Makita guy, Milwaukee, Rigid, even if you're buying cheaper Ryobi stuff, the stuff will be on sale. It always is for Black Friday. There are some deals out, but they're not good, really, really good deals yet. They're not like nothing spectacular or crazy, but they will be get better as the year goes on, or as it gets closer to the end of the year. And yeah, them Black Friday deals, guys. If you're gonna pick up tools, you know, if you're looking to buy tools before you know, the end of the year, for you guys that claim them on taxes or just looking for good deals, Black Friday tool sales are pretty good. I'm just cutting this stuff to break it down a little bit. See, that's a brass. It's a brass valve. See how it looks like it's all pitted and cast? I could just look at them and see. The other ones are all, the copper ones are all smooth looking. See, we got a little piece of copper on there. Should we go for that? It's not even a finger's length. And when you do that, you can't really get nothing to hold on to. It falls behind there anyway. See, I cut that little piece off. Sometimes I don't bother, or you can put it in the vise. You got a little extra time, you could save the ones like that, do a bunch of them, and then get them and put them in the vise and just slice them. I just cut this all down so it fits in a can a little nicer. Like that piece. Oh, man. See, I think the number 1, number 2 stuff is actual bullcrap, guys. And I'm going to tell you why. I had a nice piece of shiny new pipe. And it had one little solder spot on it. And I said to the scrap guy, and I'm not going to mention the yard. It wasn't the one I'm using now. And he said, oh, that's number 2. And I said, why? Because it has a little piece of solder on it? And he said, yeah. So I said, okay. So I took the piece out. I said, find another piece of number. I said, show me what true number 1 would be. So he pulls out a nice clean piece. Like something like this. Nice, big, long, clean piece. He said, I like that. I said, oh, yeah? I said, what about the inside of the pipe? I said, the inside of the pipe is all corroded like this on the inside. But the outside looked clean. I said, so let me guess. If you can't see it, and if it's on the inside, it doesn't matter. I said, it's bullshit. When they melt the stuff down, it all goes in the same thing. Do you think this little bit of impurities makes a difference in them? Come on. Out of the tons and tons of scrap or copper they're melting, the only thing that makes a difference if it has steel and stuff on it, or brass. That's the only thing that makes a difference. They started that years and years ago when I started doing scrap. There was no number 1. There was no number 2. You had copper tubing, plumbing tubing, wire, and then it was sheet copper, thin copper. That was it. And they only ranged about another 5 or 10 cents different. There was no number 1, no number 2, no Bear Bright, no sheet copper. Like, they didn't do that. They only started that shit so they could give you less for the same thing. You know, that was one of the things that they started. Oh, it's got impurities in it. Like this piece, you guys probably can't see. It is all black and corroded in there. More corroded than any of the other pieces I put in my number 2. Oh, beast there. Come on. It's all BS. It's all in the way they want to downgrade you. Copper elbows and stuff. Soldered on. Now that, I'll put that as a piece of number 1. You know, that's all they want to do is just downgrade you so they can buy it. So they can buy it for a lower price. It's exactly what they want to do. What do we got here? This is all number 2. Tell you what, some of these older pieces are double as thick as the new stuff. Yeah, that always bothered me about when they buy copper. Oh, it's number 1. Oh, it's number 2. I'm like, oh yeah? I'm like, is that what they're telling you? But they don't say anything about a piece of crusty brass. What does that tell you? They don't tell you about a piece of corroded, crusty brass. Come on. BS. It's just because they want to buy it for next to nothing. Yeah, all these pipes came from the same board. They're all crusty. They're clean on the outside, but crusty. Crusty, blackened, and dirty. But you know what? It goes as number 2. But this they'll say is number 1 because it doesn't have solder and it's no paint or heavy corrosion. But the inside of the pipe's corroded. Makes no sense to me, guys. And all the scrapyards they say is, oh, that's what the buyer said. That's what the guys are trying to say. That's what they want. Yeah, they just want to pay you nothing for the stuff. I had a guy message me the other day on Facebook. He said, oh, I'll buy your copper from you. I said, oh, yeah, how much? Oh, $1.50 a pound. What? I'm getting $3 a pound. Why would I sell it to you? What are you going to do for me? Oh, I'll come to your house and pick it up. No, it's okay. I don't need you to come to my house and see my operation and see where I store things and how I do things. No, thank you. You know, it's different if you have converters or something and somebody says they're going to buy them all from you. Oh, should we try that piece for number 1 or number 2? I'm just going to throw it in number 2. I'm not. I'm not playing stupid games today. Let me know how you guys feel, if you guys have thought the same thing. I know people that have been buying scrap metal for years. And other guys that own small scrap yards all across the country that I talk to, and they say the same thing. You know, some of you older guys, a lot of you guys that are older watching my channel, you guys know there never was no number 1, number 2, or any of that. BS. Just anything they could do to make it to where they can buy it for nothing. One of the many things I always wondered about. I don't know what the hell's wrong with this piece. It's a piece of wire. Yeah, I wish I had more stuff to clean, guys, but it's been really slow. Usually I'm getting a lot of plumbers and stuff that bring me stuff. Or, don't bring me this stuff. I mean, that they're changing, you know, heating systems and stuff. It's just been really slow. They keep telling me they're busy. They keep telling me they're busy, but then again, you know, oh, we're so busy. And then, oh, we're so busy. And then they don't have nothing. So what I'm doing, guys, is just cutting off the stuff that's, look at that solder joint. Can someone say apprentice? Just cutting it off and getting all the stuff till it's clean. Look, cutting it right to the end. Look how black and cruddy that is. You guys can't see it because of the light. Oh, it's number 1 though. Oh, I missed a piece. You know what? We'll leave that for the junk man to find. Leave that for the scrap guys. Alright, I don't know what the hell this thing is. Some kind of like electric ball valve with a thing on it. Oh, something tells me that's going to take my eye out. Or not come off at all. Really? Are we serious? Yeah. Oh, it's got a little electric motor thing on it. That's a piece of steel. And it's got this plate on it, which is probably, let's get my magnet. See, now none of that sticks. A little bit in the middle. So I'm going to have to take that off. See what's in there. Let's get the little socket set. Nope, it's not. 10. What do we got here? I think it's 3/8. Yeah, buddy, 3/8. I was right. I hate these. I love these tips, but sometimes it's hard to get the little bits out from the. I don't know if this is gonna come out. Ooh! I knew that was gonna happen because I'm using a drill and not an impact. Hold on, guys. You see how it spun that in my hand because it was a drill and it's on direct drive, and that was on slow. This is the difference between that and an actual impact. Oh, that's stripping. See, the impact didn't kick it out in my hand. Doesn't help. I'm holding this with a broken finger. Yeah, buzz them out. Well, that don't want to come off. Now look at that. I took that plate off, which is non-magnetic, but it's not brass. That's stainless. Throw it to the side. And look what was in there. There's some kind of pressure valve. Is that all magnetic? That goes in the bucket for dirty brass. I'm not beating my hands up anymore. I was just kind of showing you guys what we were doing. Oh, come on. A lot of times these fasteners don't come off, guys, and this is a pain in the butt. I'll tell you what. That's why the 4 seconds is just chop them off. We're going to cut that little piece of copper off. I know I hold the stuff, guys, and cut it because this little Sawzall makes it a little bit easier. It cuts slower. This thing, trying to one hand, this thing's a monster. It's got the 8 amp hour battery on it. You guys see me use this Flex one. This is not good for cutting this, smaller stuff. It's like using a sledgehammer. Now look, this is what comes out of those things. I took that valve off. See this? Cut the wires. And now look. Oh, look at that. And that would all be copper. It's just a little piece of plastic. Yeah, you didn't get much out of it. It looks like a lot. But hey, every one you take apart, just crumple it up. That's number 2. Look at the little piggy tail. Now, guys, I know that you guys that watch my videos and my subscribers, you guys that watch me all the time, know that, I try to put videos out. A lot. But YouTube is hard. It is not easy. People look at you because you're like talking to yourself when you're holding the phone and filming. You've probably seen people do it. It's not easy. And my editing skills, I've said this before, are not good. So I'm trying to hope that I can get, see, that's what those are. Goes on top of that thing. Trying to hope that I can get someone to, if I can get big enough and I can, start making decent money at this, then I can provide you guys with better content because I'll have someone to, help me film and edit, But to pay somebody to do that, right now, I'm just not making enough money. If YouTube can start making me more and more money, and then it would work out better for me. But what did we say? We got someone from Sweden? I've never even been to Sweden. Look at that nice copper wire. How is it over there in Sweden? I've never been to Sweden. I go on a lot of vacations, but we're mostly going on cruises, guys, and we're mostly going to the Caribbean and stuff like that. I've been to a bunch of different places. I'm going to be probably doing another cruise here in March, I'm thinking. What's the sense of working and doing all this stuff if you can't have fun? For years and years, all I did was work, and I really didn't do much. And we didn't go anywhere. We didn't buy anything. I mean, I did buy a house because I had to get out of where I was living. But me and my wife, I told her, I said, killing myself out here doing this stuff. I'm only 22 years old, and look at me. Oh, nice number 1 copper. But there's no sense of coming out here and working and doing this stuff if you can't ever have any fun. Now I know a lot of you guys don't do this full time. You do it as a side hustle, or you work for a company that gives you some scrap metal and you bring it in, or maybe you're an older guy that just does it for extra cash, fixed income type thing, which is great. Most people don't know they can make money doing this. And scrappers are, they're looked down upon as second-class people because of the people that go around stealing things. I know scrap guys that are billionaires. Some of you guys know who I'm talking about. I know scrap metal guys that are billionaires. There's so much money to be made if you could do it reasonably and not be a thief. I know a lot of you guys do that dumpster dive and things like that. I mean, here in Pennsylvania, that's illegal. If you get caught going into someone's dumpster, once it's in a dumpster, it's property of the garbage company, and they will sue you. They will take you to court. Ain't nothing in this, by the way. You will get arrested for trespassing, and they will they will prosecute you. Because if you're taking it out of the dumpster, then you're stealing from them. And that's something that they can't make money on. You know, I worked for a garbage company, and we used to catch guys all the time taking metal out of the dumpster. You know, we had a set day where we would just go around and pick up the metal dumpsters, and we were always kicking the crackheads out. Oh, I hate these things. I mean, if you're allowed to take the stuff, you're allowed to take it, but most people aren't. And believe it or not, guys, I don't watch other scrap guys on YouTube, so I don't know what they do. I don't know how they edit their videos. I don't know what they do. I only do my own thing. Nice piece of brass. This says Toto on it. Toto. It's a good piece of brass. Probably quarter a pound. Now, I know I'm not the best scrap guy out there, and I try to help you guys and give you tips and tricks and hints and stuff, and I can only tell you how I do it, and maybe that's not you know, something that you're interested in. I noticed that most of the people, every one of them screws stripped out. Wow. So all them screws stripped out, right in the dirty brass bucket. Some of you guys go a little crazy trying to clean everything and trying to get every little piece. Let's get these wires up. I got a bucket over here for wire number 3, low grade. You know, you want to upgrade and make the most amount of money, but you know, some of you guys, I guess, have more time than you, or maybe just more patience. I don't know. All right, what else do we got? We got this little piece here. See if I can get that little piece out. As you see, I only had a couple little buckets. I didn't have much. I've been pulling the bigger piece of copper I have out of here, out of this. Oh, my light. Oh, this piece. So what we're doing is we're cleaning all this stuff. I'm actually going to try to see if that will come out. Pretty easy. Yeah, it did. Yeah, see, I mean, you could do it either way, guys. I'm going to take this little piece of copper off. I keep getting notifications. I don't know what it is on my phone. Nice piece of brass. Like I said, brass weighs more than copper, so it adds up pretty good. Little piece of copper we cut off. See, it's got dookie on it. I'll put it with the number 2. Yeah, I was sitting at home debating on what I was going to do, and I knew I wanted to do this stuff. I didn't get time to do it the other day. Oh, is the battery dying? Oh, we got 2 bars. Thinking about going out for an ATV ride later, guys. And that was the other thing, like my scrap, I didn't want a scrapping YouTube channel. I wanted more of a one where it shows what I do, and I guess that's what they call a vlog or a blog. I don't know. I mean, since I started my YouTube channel, I used to do a lot more different things. I had a separate YouTube channel, another one that got taken down. So that kind of took the wind out of my sails. Let's try. You know, it kind of was a pain in the butt. You know, you say one thing wrong, or you say one thing that, you know, that somebody doesn't agree with. You know, one thing political. Oop. Like, we all have different political beliefs. What does it matter? You know, if you don't like mine, then you don't like mine. I don't know what to say. Oh, man. See, that's got that copper in it. I'm actually going to... I'll move it back a little first so you can see what I'm about to do to it. This one wasn't broke yet, so we'll smash it and yank all the copper out of it. I wouldn't mind having a couple hundred of these things to take apart. That's for sure. Oh man, this one's a pain in the butt. Hello from Kansas City. Who do we got? Brian. My name's Brian. I'm from Kansas City. Never been to Kansas City. It's gotta be a nice place though. Oh come on, we're gonna get every little piece to the last drop. Ow, that almost cut my freaking hand. More copper. One of my videos on the thumbnail, I put, "Get to the copper!" I don't think anybody got it. You want to make money? Get to the copper. The copper. All right, what else do we got? We got more. Oh, this piece. Oh, it's got water in it. Oh, I should call her. Look at the size of this piece of copper. Look at it. That's like inch and a half, something like that. This is some big boy copper. I've had stuff that was 5-6 inch round. I've also had brass valves that were brass shutoff valves. Years ago we were cleaning out. Now you guys don't understand. Like I used to work for a garbage company and I started doing scrap metal, but I always did scrap metal. Now what happened was, I had stockpiled a lot of scrap during high school and stuff, and the price went up really good. And we did really good when we sold out around 9/11. And me and a buddy of mine started doing scrap really hardcore, and we were buying, going to auctions, buying lots of stuff and all kinds of scrap metal, and it was a little crazy. Like there was times where I was going to auctions and buying all the cars that were for sale and stripping them all out, like all the ones for like $100, $200, selling parts off them, the aluminum wheels, the converters, everything. Now, I had been doing like big jobs, not like picking up for here or there, whatever was on the side of the road. I was doing like big scrap jobs, like whole cleanouts, whole factories, taking all the copper and taking all the wire out and everything. And that's one of the things that we used to do. And that's how I started. I started out doing the big stuff. And there was one time I bought 80 school buses. I paid $1,000 a school bus. We sold the motors out of them. An Asian gentleman from Korea came and bought them all and sent them all overseas. And we crated them all up in sea containers. They bought the tires, the axles, the transmissions, all that crap. And then we were cutting the buses in half and filling them all with scrap metal that was on the property and sending them out. We bought, I think it was like 80 something of them. It ended up being over $200,000 job. I used to do bigger jobs. And then I had a falling out with my partner at the time. And I started it was right around 2008. The stock market was crappy and things were really bad. And I started working for a garbage company. And I worked for them for like 5 years on and off. Actually, 8 years on and off. And I worked for them 5 years straight one time. And I still was doing scrap metal, and I seen a need for people that wanted scrap metal picked up. I live in a very rural area. Everybody pays for garbage. There's no local garbage. You put garbage out by the side of the road, nobody picks it up unless you're paying them. It's just the way it is. And there's a lot of bear and a lot of animals that'll rip the garbage up, so you can't hold it for much. So what ended up happening there was I seen a need for it. People are like, oh, I got a washer dryer to pick up. I keep calling the company and you're not answering. Or they're like, oh, they want $50 to pick the stuff up. You believe that? I'm like, I'll come do it for free. So after work, after my garbage drive, I'd go and pick the stuff up. And then working for the garbage truck, we'd go pick up at businesses. And there was a restaurant one time that was closing, and they had a bunch of old fryers, a big pizza oven, a bunch of crap. I said, I'll come down, load it all on the trailer, took it in. And I used to go to the scrapyard 3 times a week. I was making more on the scrap metal at the time. And scrap metal was low back in 2008, if you guys remember. I was making more on scrap metal than I was, working my normal job because I had child support, and I was trying to pay child support so I wouldn't end up in freaking jail. But You know, so I did what I had to do. But it got to a point where I was making more money. And then one day, the one year it was really rainy and crappy. And the driver was was the guy I worked with. It was my ex's, the one I had all the problems with. It was his stepsister. He was a real prick too. And he's like, "Oh, you have to go do this. You have to do that." I said, "I don't have to do shit." So you know what ended up happening? I told him, "You know what? Leave me there and drop me off." My wife at the time, we weren't married, was pregnant. She goes, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to do scrap metal full time." I made up flyers, put flyers out. I put ads on Craigslist. Everybody I knew, friends, relatives, neighbors, I told everybody I was doing scrap metal. I had my wife at work. You know, I had her telling all the girls she worked with, "Hey, if you got any scrap metal, my husband will come take it." Somebody will always have something they want to get rid of, guys. And that's the thing about scrap metal. It's out there. And it's harder in urban areas and city areas because there's tons of people. But they're still out there. And you don't have to steal stuff and you don't have to take things. Ask people. I tell people, what was the worst thing going to do? Did I tell you F yourself? Hey, it's better than going to jail for taking something you weren't supposed to. You know, but that's how I started really doing scrap metal. I mean, I started way back when I was a kid, you know, driving around picking up aluminum cans. You know, it was recycling night. We used to go around, take them out of the cans. And I had a couple bars that would give me the aluminum cans. They had bottle returns. You know, I was making $100 a week when I was 11 years old back in the day. Because I was a hustler. I wasn't gonna let, you know, just anything happen. I was gonna go out and get it. I'm trying to get this, but I don't know if you can see this, but I gotta cut this piece. It's pretty grimy. Actually, I'm gonna cut it here. I'm just gonna let that go. I'm not gonna. Should I cut that piece? I guess. All right, I cut that as an upgrade. I mean, I'm kind of supposed to be showing you guys the upgrade. Nice piece of copper. But that's how I started on the venture that I am on now. You know, I hated working for that garbage company. I didn't even make $300 a week. I had to work 5 days a week. I had to get up at 4:30 in the morning to drive to work. It was terrible. The only good thing about it was I managed to, I would get out early and I could do other scrap metal and stuff too. So I used to work a normal job and then do that. But we used to pick dumpsters up at plumbing, heating, HVAC companies and stuff. And I'd be like, "Hey, what are you guys doing with that water heater?" Like, "You want to come get it?" "Okay, I'll be here after work." And that's how I started building. Clients basically, and people that wanted me to pick things up, because those guys don't want to be bothered. You know, a lot of times they don't want to deal with a water heater. But if there's here's the other thing. There's no local scrapyard out by me. There is, but they don't pay nothing. And the guys don't want to be bothered with it. You know, if you help them out and you pick the stuff up, they'll give the crap to you. You know, help them out. And that's why I have 18 plumbing and heating guys. And I just picked up another one that does nothing but air conditioners. But he doesn't do much work in the winter. So, unless it's new installs and things. It's a nice piece of copper. I keep knocking things over. But that's how I ended up getting so many more. I'm trying to grab another Sawzall blade. I'm just using these crappy DeWalt ones, the yellows. Now these guys, I keep telling you guys something different, but see these DeWalt ones? See the 18 tooth ones? They're good for cutting this stuff. Steel, they're not that bad. I go on eBay, I order 100 of these for, I think I paid $120, so it's $1.20 a blade, which isn't bad. $120 a blade is not bad. I'm going to change this Sawzall battery. $120 a blade isn't bad. And I also have, for cutting steel, I got the Diablo auto dismantling. Now these ones are really good at cutting steel. The only thing is they will bend and break. They're non-carbide, but they're auto dismantling. I can get these on eBay for like, I think I paid $130 for 130 for 100, so it was $1.30 a blade. If you go to buy these at Home Depot, they're $22 or $24 for 5 of them. So you're better off buying them in bulk. And you could buy a 25 pack. You see, these are a 25 pack. So when I bought them, they gave me 3 25 packs, which made 100 blades. Now this blade isn't terrible, but I mean, I've been using it to cut for a bunch. I'd rather have the blade to be really sharp than sit there and play with it. Because when you're holding it, it'll vibrate more if the blade is not really that sharp. Like it just went right through that like nothing. I mean, that right there, with that big fitting on it and everything, guys, I would say that without putting it on a scale, that's probably a pound. Maybe a pound and a half. So does that look like, it kind of looks like a pipe. Pipe and a clipe? But if that's 2 pounds, that's $6 in my hands right there, one piece. And I keep throwing it under the table here, guys. Oh, you can't see, but this one's number 2 or number 1. The one here is the can here is number 2, and it's getting pretty full. Usually, I can get 100 to 120 pounds in a 36 gallon can. So like I was saying, guys, I used to do bigger scrap metal. I used to do the big stuff. I used to do cars. I don't do cars anymore. I might do 1 or 2 a year. If I get a call for a car, I have a guy that does it for me. And me and him, you know, a lot of times I get cars and I don't even pay for them. This guy's out here paying $500-$600 for a car. Ugly piece, huh? Yeah, I never paid for cars. I have a lot of customers and people call me, "Oh, Mike, I have a car." I'm like, "I'll take it." You know, if they want to pay for it, then I'll give them another scrapper's number that I know buys cars. Me and him do a bunch of deals together. So if I can get him a car or two, you know, he'll help me out next time I need something moved. Good friend of mine, Johnny. You guys have probably seen him a couple times in the scrapyard in the videos. You know, he runs a towing service, but he junks cars. And I know he's the one that actually brought the shed on, and he actually brought that shed to my property after I bought it. Just cleaning that stuff up, getting the elbows off. Nice piece of number 1, a little piece of solder there. Like I said, I ain't want to worry about one little piece. Oh man, this piece is really twisted. And all this copper wasn't even that old. You can see it wasn't that old. But when they put a new unit in, they give them a price for all new copper, new pumps and things like that. So they don't really care. And since I offer them, you know, like this stuff came from a boiler, the one outside. The plumbing and heating guys don't want to deal with it. They made their $8,000-$9,000. They don't care. They don't want to try to fight an 800-pound boiler in the back of their van. They don't have lift gate. They don't want to be bothered. They want to do the easy stuff. They want to get done. They want to hook it up, go. So I tell them, "Hey, give me the copper and I'll haul it away." And sometimes they throw me a couple bucks, you know. They buy me lunch or something. They're just happy to have someone to take it away. Because then they got to do it. They don't want to do that. Most plumbing and heating guys, dude, they're all prima donnas. I know a lot of them, man. They leave them in the basements of people's houses. I don't want to take them out. I don't want to deal with it. I can't tell you how many times I went to people's houses and they were getting a water heater or a boiler done, and there'd be 2 boilers, a water heater there. I went to a housing apartment. Every house had their own water heater on the wall and their own heating system, their own little boiler. I went there was a room in the basement that was full of water heaters, because they used to have water heaters and not the indirects. When the guy changed everything, they put all that stuff and pushed it into this back room, and there was like 15 water heaters, you know, 10, 15 boilers, air conditioning coil units, tons of copper. Every piece of pipe he did, he just threw it in there. He didn't even want to take it. He didn't want to be bothered. He just wanted to go. What he was doing was he was taking them and hooking them up and just moving them over to the side. And then when it got too much, he'd roll them in the back room. I said, "Wow." I said, "That's a good plumber for you." All he wanted to do was just hurry up and hook it up so he could get paid. He didn't want to do anything. Number 1. Yeah, I know I licked it. You know what they say, never go brass the mouth. Even though it was a piece of copper, a stupid thing. There was a couple of them crusty valves. Cutting more copper. But I feel like I can tell you guys more when I do these lives than when I do my videos. Because like I said, I can't really edit things. And my editing skills are very terrible. You know, you look at some of these guys on YouTube, you don't realize a lot of times when I film a video, I put it together on my phone. I stitch the little videos together, you know, put the little thing in it to make it looks like it fades in between cuts, and that's it. And then I post it. You know, me stuttering and me saying the wrong thing, more of a raw experience. It's not some polished turd from somebody who, you know, went to school and did all that stuff, you know. I'm on a YouTube page for guys that for like beginning YouTuber, and the guy said, "Oh, look at your channel," because I had a couple questions about things I didn't know about. And what he was doing was he went through and critiqued all my videos. He's like, "Oh, how do you edit your video?" I said, "I don't." So I just shoot it and put it out there. Oh, he's like, "What do you use?" I said, "My Samsung Galaxy S23 phone." I said, "That's what I used for it. That's why I film my videos." And he's like, "Oh, you should get better camera equipment, this and that." I'm going to spend thousands of dollars for what? You guys can see me. You guys can hear me. Why? So I can make better better visual videos. Like, I mean, I could film it in 4K on my phone if I wanted to. Most people don't even watch them in 4K. So why should I spend time to you know, film it that way? I mean, it just don't make any sense to me. Had a decent amount of #1, guys. Can's getting pretty full. I only got a couple more pieces here. Ooh, almost hit my leg again. Well, I'm just slicing this stuff down to its smaller. Ooh. So we'll process this stuff down. When I'm done cleaning these last couple pieces, I'm going to show you a pump here. Got a metal pump. Look at all that. Yummy, yummy. Got 2 more pieces down here. And then I want to show you this pump, and then there's some steel pipes here that I might have to cut. Another piece of brass with a valve. But yeah, all this stuff came from one boiler that was taken out. I just think the economy is not really doing good and in a bad spot here. A lot of people aren't going and you know, spending $8,000-$10,000 to get their furnace changed. Furnace or boiler. I know some of you guys don't even know what a boiler is because you live in a warm climate in the United States. Half the time you guys, if it's not an air conditioner, you don't know what it is. I think the old school boiler units are archaic anyway. Nice piece of brass. The brass book is getting pretty full. Hoping to bring this stuff in this week. You know, you got a holiday week, so my daughter has off from school 2 days, or early dismissal, and then Thursday, Friday. Like, it's a very short week for work. So I have a load of scrap on the trailer, which I'll show you guys when I'm done here. That'll be going in tomorrow. Not tomorrow. That'll be going in Monday. I'm sorry. So Monday I'll be bringing in a load of tin. Picked a bunch of stuff up the other day, and my buddy John had a bunch of stuff. More #1. Stupid valves. Yeah, my buddy John had a bunch of garbage. So I brought my big trailer over. He filled it. I brought it in, and then while he was going through stuff, he had a bunch of metal. So we filled the back of the white truck. My 250. Another one of these things. These things are pretty sweet, man. Like I said, I wouldn't mind having a whole bunch of these. Check these out. Boop. Isn't that nice? Ow. Oop. And then this piece is just a plastic. Ow. Ah, man. Can you imagine having a garbage can full of them to rip apart? Oh, so pretty. Nice. Couple little pieces of wire throwing this bucket back here. Yeah, so I've been cutting the cords off of things more lately just because it's been slower and the mad rush has been ending. So I feel like I'm rushed all the time. Like I gotta hurry up and do things. There's a lot of things that I probably should do different, but you know, I don't want to be out here, you know, I don't want to be nickels holding up dollars, you know what I mean? Sometimes I have so much to do, I don't have time to do it all. And, you know, there's other scrap guys out here. I'm not the only scrap guy around in my town or whatever. And if you don't do it, somebody will. So if somebody calls, says, oh, I've had people like, oh, can you do it right now? No, I can't. I'm headed to the scrap yard. I could probably do it tomorrow. I'm like, I'll call somebody else. Well, call somebody else then. I can't be Johnny on the spot all the time. I don't know. 30 brass. I don't know exactly what to do. I can't be everywhere at once. So this is what's called a water circulator pump. And this is an electric motor. You see these bolts down here? Is me pointing at it? I'll put it right here so I can. So a lot of the companies, these are nut drivers, they fit on the drill. And you could take these bolts out. Oh. I need this. Actually, I think this one will take it off. Pain to get out. But yeah, if you're going to be taking this stuff apart, man. Oh, and that's the other thing I said about the tool sales. The Black Friday tool sales, they have all the bits and fittings and you know, things you're going to need to take all the stuff apart. You could buy a big kit. Last year I bought a giant Makita kit, and that's what I've been using, like these things, the nut driver heads and everything. A lot of times it's less than $1 a fitting, you know. So that's what I took off. Take it apart. See the copper in there? The only problem is that's epoxied in there, and I don't know exactly how you would go get that out. So what I do is I put this piece back in. I don't even bother with that. I just wanted to show you what was in there. So that's now just an electric motor, and that weighs about 4 or 5 pounds. Into the can. So I wanted to show you guys taking that little motor apart. And now look at this. That's a giant piece of brass. Now you could try to fight these pieces of brass out here. Or you try to cut this stuff. I mean, you might be able to cut it here and here before the fittings, which I think we're going to do. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see me cut this. I don't know. Let me adjust you here. Oh, so it needs to be right here, which is perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut on the other side of the steel fitting. So I cut that off. Now, these things are just hard to do. Now I'm going to try cutting it here to get this, you know, pound and a half piece of brass off. I'm hitting the steel under, damn it. Come on. I hate doing these. There you go. Now you see this piece, when you cut them like that, you're like, how do I get that off? You left that piece on. Well, boys and girls, probably no girls, but what I'm going to do now is take the saw and cut it this way. See what I'm doing? Cutting down on it. I'll show you. What I did was I cut down through it like that. And then, see, I hit it and they went flying, but they're in here somewhere. I don't know where the hell it went, but I got that little piece of brass off. And then you're left with this giant ball valve that I cut before the steel. And this in here is probably not brass, but it's not magnetic. It might be stainless. Looks very shiny. It's probably brass though. I'm just going to take the handle off. You guys can put a socket on that if you want, or, you know, whatever you're doing. But a lot of times they're not very tight. And there you go. I have a bunch of the stuff to clean, so if you guys want to see me clean the rest of that, give me a thumbs up. Or if not, I'll go show you what I'm doing outside. Same thing here, guys. See, that piece was just like the other one. Cut down it, and then you can just tap the stuff off. Alright, they didn't go flying. So look, now I can show you. What I did was when I cut down through that, got the little pieces of brass. Yeah, it don't really mean much, but everything means. Now this piece would go in the short steel bucket, which is to my left back here. You guys can't see. But here's another piece. Look how ugly that piece is. I try to get as much as I can off, but sometimes, and you know, when you're real busy, you might not have time to do this stuff. A lot of times I don't. So I throw it to the side or whatever, guys. You know. But we got a piece of copper. This is copper. This little ball valve here is brass. And then this one's brass. We're probably going to cut that one, do the same thing. We can cut this one and do the same thing. And there's another piece of copper here and another piece of brass. So we're going to use the little saws all up because that big one kills me. There you go. That's a nice heavy piece because the elbows and the joints are thicker. So they're thicker copper. Look how thick that is. Cutting that off. It's a lot heavier than the piece of pipe. Now you could do the same thing here. If you guys see here where I left this piece of copper in here, you can cut down on that and pry that out too. That's a little more harder than the other way that I took that piece of brass out. But I just cut it off. I probably waste maybe 100 pounds of copper and brass each a year. But, I mean, it's not going to kill me, trust me. You know, my dad always said, take what you can, leave the rest. I mean, my dad was kind of a smart man. Kind of. Look, just cutting and getting all the brass off. So since we've been talking, guys, how long have I been going? An hour and 4 minutes, guys. There's 6 of you guys watching and 3 thumbs up, which I appreciate. The people that are watching, give a shout out in the comment section of where you are, and yeah, just let me know if I'm doing a good job or if you're learning anything. Probably loud with me cutting. Porter County, Pennsylvania, Ottawa, baby. We got some Canadians in the house, eh? Nice piece of copper. What are scrap prices in Canada? You might have to put them in the freedom fractions because I probably won't be able to convert it in my head. Alright, we're going for this piece of brass now. Alright, we'll cut the next one. Oh, that's why I hate this Sawzall. It's so big and heavy. Cuts like a massive bastard, though. We'll cut that piece off. Boom. Brass. Brass. Remember, never go brass to mouth. What do we got? Porter count. Seb says it's 180 a ton. Canadian monies. And he gets 220 for being a regular. See, guys? That's like me. I get special pricing. I say special because I say it's special. It means I'm special, but I'm actually a commercial account. I bring in so much, and they show their appreciation by giving me a better price. And Seb said the same thing. You know, if you're a regular and you bring them in good quality stuff, you know, and you're not, you know, some geek off the street, they'll pay you better. If you're trustworthy and they know you're not out there stealing things and you go out of your way to clean things and make it good, you know, and you're passing along and you're getting them more customers. Wow, that's tight. That's what she said. I might have to get a socket on that. Hold on. Three-quarters a little loose. About 7/16. Bob's your uncle. Go back to the impact. So yeah, so scrap prices aren't that bad. Yeah, they're about the same. They're about the same here in America. I would say my price is probably around the same from the yard I go to. Look at that. So I cut that and I managed to get that nice ball valve off. It's nice. Oh, my bench is getting clogged. All right, so should we attack this next piece? Get that piece out? Oh, sleek. Oh, look at that. I bent that blade. Another reason why I hate this Sawzall. It's so powerful, it'll just eat blades off it. You know, one hand in this Sawzall is not for the weak of heart, I'll tell you. Especially with a broken finger, guys. I know I feel like I'm complaining, but it hurts. I'm not going to tell you that's fun. I know the smarter way probably is to put it in a vise, but what can I say? I'm stubborn and I'm an asshole. Oh, look, brass. Just getting them little pieces off. Now that's a piece of short steel pipe, which I'll be bringing a load of that in shortly. Oh, look how crusty. It's like Krusty the Clown. Let's just see if we get a socket on it. Ow! Look at that. 13 millimeter. Came off. Oh, that's tight. I tell you what, after I clean a bunch of stuff like this, man, my hands hurt. How about you guys? Wait till you see how full I filled that bucket already. I have almost a 5-gallon bucket full. And now you see these are all steel pipes. But But I put these here because I wanted to show you guys how to take these off. Well, that's the wrong size. That's about right. Oh, that was 15 mil. That's 13. I have these sockets so I can always see them because I know they're either 15 or 13 mil. Just by quick reference, you can look at them and see. I know it would probably be easier to do these if I was, had them locked into a vise. It might be easier. Look at that. That piece of pipe was threaded all the way to it. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at that. That was threaded all the way in there. Oh, that's pain. That means this one's too. Yep. That one was threaded all the way in on both sides. You see that, guys? See the piece of steel in there, pipe? See the color difference? You know what that means? For them to pick it out. There's only a couple little pieces in there, so it's not like a big deal. It's good stuff when you get that in. You can cut down on it and get them pieces out. You cut those big valves off, you feel like you're leaving these little pieces, you're not. And then that's a piece of short. That's the other piece we're going to cut off. We're going to get that little piece of brass because I cut that valve. Just cut down into it till it's past, all the way through it. And just hit down on it and you get the little pieces that you left on when you cut the valves. Short steel. Got one more here. There you go. Right on the top of my hand. Son of a man. Oh. You guys are watching me. You just seen that. Oh, this one's going to be a pain. I'll just do it like this. That's all. I did it like this. I did it like that. I did it with the wiffle ball bat. Yeah, just getting these little pieces of brass off, guys. I got one more of that big piece over here like this. Trying to get this brass valve off. Now you see me cut it with the big sawzall. We're gonna cut it with the little sawzall now and see if it, with the new blade, if it can cut them fairly easy. Oh, brass. Got the next one. Start to get discouraged after a while. Usually I have the music playing, guys, but I figured I couldn't put it on if I was going along. That's killing my hands. Ooh, almost cut myself. So you can see the difference in power between these two sawzalls. It's just this thing is unwieldy. And this has a brand new blade. This thing is, I don't even know when that was on here last. I don't even think that was a new blade from when I was here yesterday doing a little bit. Oops. Brass. I have a whole bucket of dirty stuff. Like stuff that is, things that would really, really have to be labor intensive to clean. So I don't know if I'm going to clean that stuff. I mean, maybe not in this live. I was, just trying to live for the first time to see if you guys would be interested, and I was actually going to get some views. It's kind of hard to pump out videos all the time. Maybe I'll just do a live every now and again. Is there a number 1 or number 2 or number 3? Number 1 copper piping would be stuff like this. No solder. I was cutting all the ends and no fittings. No soldered ends on. This would be number 1. Okay? Now, number 2. Number 2 would be anything like this with soldered joints on it, guys. Or Brian that you're asking. See the soldered joints? Or anything that's heavily corroded or painted. This would be number 2. Okay? And then number 3. Number 3 copper. Or what most places in the United States would call sheet copper would be stuff like this. Sheet copper, flat copper, gutters, or like the ridge valley, like the ridge vent stuff. So this is copper, and this is this would be considered number 3 in some places, some yards. And the only other thing there is Bear Bright, which Bear Bright would be your copper wire or thick stuff stripped. Not the hairy copper, but the stuff that's thicker strand. That would be what's considered Bear Bright. And you only get that from like industrial cable and stuff like that. Or, I shouldn't say that. Or if you strip the Romex house wire to 10-2, 12-2 wire. Wow, that's freaking on there. So we're getting our little piece of brass off of the pipe. It's working pretty good. I hope that helps you with the what's number 1 and number 2. Oh, I still can't get that one off. Figured if I hit it. Oh, I got this one. These little ball floats. A little float on it, a little piece of plastic. The other yard I used to go to never complained about it, but the new yard says, oh, if you clean it like that. He's like, I appreciate it. So I start cleaning them. I mean, years ago I had to clean these. Oh, I got that one. So that's a good little trick. Hit it with the hammer to shock. Look at that. I actually have a bunch of those valves. Half of my bucket over here is full with them. I can't. Oh, that one got. Some of these are on the old ones. These are brass, but they're not. All these ones aren't. Like I could keep pulling them out of the bucket. I got tons of these guys for brass. You just can't turn them. Couple hits with the hammer like the old pickle jar. Oh no, that one's jammed. Well, that took the wind out of my sail on that, guys. All right, so now I want to show you what we cleaned so far. All right, guys. So we're at the bench here working, and this is all. There was some number 2 in here beforehand, guys. But I want you to see. Look at that. About half of this bucket, or half of this can is full, and it was probably about quarter full. And I don't have my scale out here today, but I'll pick it up and see. I'd say it's about 70 or 80 pounds. And then this one over here was my number 1 bucket. As you see, that was a lot of that stuff. That was all like newer copper pipe. Cut all the fittings off. That's ready to go. And this one I would say is probably about 30 pounds. And then here's my bucket of brass. I was throwing it in this bucket right here. We filled the whole 5-gallon bucket of brass. Almost 3/4 full. And that's probably 60 or 70 pounds. And this one over here was the one I was throwing all the dirty brass into. And I have another one here of like stuff that's going to be a little bit harder to clean. And these valves here were things that we couldn't clean really that easy. Sorry, guys. Kind of hard to do it that way. And then here's where we were putting our electric motors. Those look familiar from the last video too. And then here's wire. Now the only wire in here is the cords I cut off, or these dryer cords. Yeah, some of you guys like to zip this stuff off. I necessarily really don't do it. I sell that as all number 3 wire. You see there was a battery down here we did. So that was what we cleaned in copper wise. Now let me show you. Oh, it's getting dark out. All that stuff came from this boiler here. So the copper and stuff you guys were seeing was from this boiler. You see there's some air conditioning fins here I did the other day. See these? And this is what our load's going to be. How do I flip my camera? Anybody know? Anybody know? Nope. Oh, there we go. Nope. All right, guys. So this is the load for tomorrow. Bunch of appliances and tin. I filled this in one day. And my buddy John had this stuff here. He's the guy that buys all the lawnmowers from me. He strips the parts off, whatever. But we got all that. Picked up another big air conditioner here. And this was another furnace we picked up. Another can of short steel. Random little small stuff we had. And then this was another boiler. The guy took it out. You see there's more pipes there. Some more steel pipes. A little bit of rotors I had. But this is our main thing, is to get rid of this on Monday. And what's in the back of the white truck here. And then what I'm going to do on Thursday, I'm thinking, is the short steel, that boiler. I'll rip this boiler down. I still got to get the copper coil out of this boiler. And what we'll do is we'll probably load it in the back of the heavy truck here with use the lift gate. We'll hook that up, guys, and then I'll take all this copper and brass that I've been cleaning, these air conditioners. Or another little air conditioner here I can clean. There's one back here I can clean. That one's drained. This little one's not. I got to take that to John. And this one right here is not. I got to get it to my buddy John, the HVAC guy. He, I take the covers off and he empties them for me. But yeah, guys, that's what we're doing. That's our goal for Monday and Tuesday, and then Wednesday, Thursday. Wednesday's half a day. Thursday's half a day for my daughter too, so I'll just take her with me to the scrapyard. But yeah, guys, gonna be ending this video, guys. But yeah, let me know if you liked watching my live. This was the first one I really did. I hope you guys did a good job. What do you say, Brian? Have you ever thought about using an industrial shear so you can stop using saws? That'd be an awesome. Hold on, I'm crooked. That'd be awesome. Those industrial shears are called alligator shears. They are amazing. Extremely expensive. I've seen them on Alibaba. From China, cheap. I don't know. I don't feel like paying for them. I'm waiting. If I can't go pick it up, and I don't want to order it overseas, I don't want to, take a chance of getting burned. And I've also heard the cheap ones don't really work that good. I know guys that use shredders too. They drop all the copper and brass in the shredder, and they have a special thing that pulls all the steel out and stuff, guys. That's another thing too. But you got to do lots of poundage. I probably process. I really don't count, but I would say easily $30,000 to $50,000 in copper and brass easy a year, maybe even more. And most of it is piping and stuff like that. And that's not even the motors and stuff like that. I don't even take apart electric motors, sealed units. I don't have time. I don't rip that stuff apart. It's a mess. But yeah, guys, great love watching you. Yeah, I appreciate it, guys. And if you guys will watch this video back, you guys will see all the stuff that we cleaned today. But I'm going to end this video. Give me a thumbs up or a like, or let me know. And any of you guys that are watching that aren't subscribers to me, please like, comment, and subscribe, man. It really helps the channel. And I'm going to be doing this more and more. Maybe I'll do it every Saturday thing, guys, where I'll save all my copper brass up for the week. And sometimes they'll fill this shed. You know, in the summertime with air conditioners, so if you go back and watch some of my older videos, you'll see, man, air conditioners galore. I had ones that were big ones that were rooftop ones. Like I just took one off a gas station 2 weeks ago, and we took it apart and threw it off the roof, though. A lot of times I can't film things. I can't film and work at the same time. And a lot of times I just want to hurry and get it done because I got a million other things to do. And let's face it, time is money. I can't, if I start making money and I start doing it on YouTube, then I can start giving back and start doing things for you guys. But as of right now, you know, YouTube is just a way to, you know, talk to people. But, all right, guys, I'll see you later, and I hope to catch you in the next video.